Well, after a few difficult years and tough seasons consumed by the pandemic and life's pandemonium, if you will, you owe it to yourself to dive in and embrace the season of you.
That's right. And what does that mean exactly? Well, motivational speaker and life coach Marcedes Fuller is here to help us do some soul work. And get ready, friends. We're going to focus on you today. He's already become like the third member of the show here.
Look at
Marcedes Fuller.
Welcome.
First of all, your ensemble is fabulous.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Best dressed guest we've had so far, by far.
I mean, best dressed human.
Well, look, I knew exactly where I was coming, so I had to step my game up this morning because y'all always look great.
Well, we try. It's all
Very
smoke and
kind.
mirrors. So we wanted to start off talking about the Great Resignation, right? I feel like that's the way you say it. It's time not for the Great Resignation, but the Great
Reimagination.
I like that.
And the reason why I say it's time for the Great Reimagination is because in 2021 alone, close to 50 million people left their jobs, and they left their jobs voluntarily. And so a lot of people wanted to discover who they are, their purpose, and what it is they want to pursue for the rest of their lives. And so when we seen so many people leave jobs and leave employers, and they're saying, hey, you know, I was an executive last week. This week I'm starting an Etsy store, and it brings me fulfillment. You know, when we see that, and it's a common trend, we know it's time for a great reimagination. It's time for us to really reset and reimagine what we want to do with our lives and where we want to go from here.
right.
So how do we? What are some of the things we can do to move forward through the pandemonium?
Absolutely. That's a good question. One of the first things I say to do is pause and just breathe. Take a moment to reflect on how you actually got to where you are in your life right now and celebrate your arrival. I think that we need to give ourselves the space and the grace because we don't necessarily celebrate all of our accomplishments, all of the life work that we've done because we're in the zone, we're doing and we're tasking, and life is so busy. So we need to slow down first. But then we need to discover exactly what it is that we want to do, and then take an assessment of where we are and build that bridge from where you are to where you're trying to go.
And I think it's interesting because you talk about taking a pause, right? And then resetting.
Yes.
Because you can, I know friends who are stuck in the pause. They're like, I know I don't want the grind. I don't know what I want next, and they're stuck in this weird purgatory.
Yeah, and that's a tough place to be. One thing that I think about is if I use my computer for a week straight and don't restart the computer, the program starts to lag. It slows down. That's the same thing that happens to us. If we don't reset, if we don't take time to realign our lives, we'll start to lag. Our performance will start to shift.
We'll get that wheel of indecision.
And keeps going.
Yeah, we won't show up as our best selves, and we really have to be intentional about resetting so that we can show up as the best version of ourselves, not only for us, but for those that we serve and lead in our families.
But you talk about taking that pause, and that's one of those things where I always feel like, well, we need to get rid of the outside noise to really hear ourselves as to what we want. But are there any tools you can use to get to that point rather than just going, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know? You know, like how do you get those triggers going?
Absolutely. The thing that you said about that outside noise, that's one of the first things that I would say. Cancel out some of that outside noise and really get centered with yourself. Get centered with yourself and really truly be intentional about asking yourself, what do I want right now? And then align your support systems and the resources and the tools, but really develop a strong, solid vision for where you're trying to go. And once you design that vision, really be intentional about what I call is DSD, doing something daily.
Doing something daily.
Do something daily.
Example.
Take a step. You know, if you say, hey, I want to lose weight, I would say, okay, did you get your steps in? Did you go to the gym? Did you even think about reassessing your meal plan? You can do something daily to get closer and closer to where you're trying to go in life.
Little steps.
Little steps.
Big accomplishments.
Little steps.
Little baby steps. And in the season of focusing on you, and I recently read this somewhere, that if you don't thank your higher power, universe, God, Goddess, tree bark, whatever it is, for the little things, then those things will stop coming to you. So even if it is, I lost a pound today, or I drank a gallon of water because that's my journey.
Be grateful for that.
Because then there's more coming.
Absolutely.
From where that came from.
Absolutely. I truly believe the same thing, and I've seen how it works in my life. I start my mornings with a gratitude hour, writing down the things that I'm grateful for, and then I notice that I attract so much more of those things that I'm grateful for. Yeah.
It sounds, people, there was always the sarcasm around that kind of thing, but it does work.
There's something.
It does.
I've learned to really
and it
see
may
how
not
that
be
works.
an hour. Maybe it's just a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But it's a structured system, and if you have a structured system in place, you will soon see results.
Marcedes,
please come back and visit us.
Oh, I'm so ready for the next show.
I can't wait for the next outfit either.
Exactly.
I want to see you top this one.
So much pressure. Thank you all so much.
Thanks so much.
It was a pleasure to see you today. And we will post all of these tips on our website at pix11.com. Make sure you check out The Move with Marcedes podcast. You can subscribe and listen wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Thanks again, Marcedes.
Such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right.